Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Main Lube Lubricants, and your local Repco store.
Hey, let's go fetch another classic resto, one with sparkling paint and chrome all full of shine. Hey, let's go fetch another classic resto, and show me what I wish was really mine.
Welcome to another episode of Classic Restos. Of course, not possible without the continued support of Shannons Insurance, Main Lube Lubricants, and your local Repco store scattered across Australia and New Zealand. How good are Shannons Insurance? Sure, there's lots of other insurance company alternatives, but you'd be hard pushed to find an insurance company that gets behind the enthusiasts fraternity to support us better. Shannons, they're more than an insurance company. Why not pick up the phone, give them a call, 134646. You can also visit Shannons online at shannons.com.au. It's a very comprehensive website, many things to look at, but while you are there, you can also sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Lubricants. You can send away a small oil sample from either your engine, transmission, gearbox or diff for a full assessment. You'll receive an analysed report. You can pick up the phone, call Main Lube, speak to one of the engineers as to how your current oil is protecting your investment. mainlube.com.au. The best thing about dealing with your local Repco store is that you will receive experience. Whether you're a trade customer or a retail customer such as myself, you will have inventory access to over $50 million worth of more parts for more cars. Now that equals 900,000 parts in fact, or the equivalent of 90 additional stores. You can visit your local Repco store scattered across Australia and New Zealand, or you can visit them online at repco.com.au or repco.co.nz. All of the major sponsors can be found also on the website of Classic Restos at classicrestos.com.au. On today's show, I've travelled to picturesque Wodonga, which is just over the border of New South Wales, Australia, to an event that has taken the accolade as Australia's largest outdoor Mopar event. Welcome to Chryslers on the Murray. In fact, this event has established itself so much as a major player, it's earned the reputation and attracting special guests from overseas. Here, it's the 1950s and 1960s drag car racers known to us as the Ramchargers, Dick Jones and Mike Buckle, all the way from the United States of America.
Time now for the once were Ramchargers. Now, who are the Ramchargers? Well, if you're a Mopar gearhead, and even if you're not, there's a chance that you'll know who these guys once were. On this year's Chryslers on the Murray event, two of the original guys, Dick Jones and Mike Buckle, complete with Will, his grandson, were special guests. In 1959, a group of engineers from Chrysler Corporation began to participate in the nation's newest craze, drag racing. This is where Woodward Avenue, Detroit ties in, because that is where the top engineers of the Big Three would meet at night and test run their new technologies. You may remember one car no one could beat, the Silver Bullet. By the time 1960 had rolled around, cubic acres were everywhere, and gearheads had heard about and appreciated the potential of Ram induction. Hence a race team was introduced as the Ramchargers. 1962, Tom Hoover was a proud man on introduction of the incredible 413 cubic inch short Ram max wedge engine. In 1964, the Ramchargers introduced the peerless 426 Hemi. By 1965, all of the factories had realised that the success of the Ramchargers could bring results in the showrooms, adapting the saying that worked, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. With me now, I have a great privilege to interview Mike Buckle. Now, Mike's one of the Ramchargers. How awesome is this guy? How you doing, Mike?
See, he's learning the lingo. How was your flight from the United States?
Long, 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 and
A
long.
lot of Americans don't like coming to Australia because the flight puts them off. But hey, isn't it worth it once you're here?
It takes a day to get used to it, and after that, it's just great.
I first met you in 2011 at Chryslers at Carlisle. We're in a bar there at Carlisle, and thanks to Ed Bazeski there at Carlisle Events, lined us up. It was great to talk to you, Mike. I mean, you go way back, 50s, 60s, driving Dodges, Plymouths. You've got a great heritage.
I started in 1961. I was fresh out of college. Got recruited to Chrysler. Within a week, I had met all the Ram Chargers. And within 2 days, I was working on Ram Chargers cars. So I was in on the super stock right from the very beginning and escalated through super stocks, funny cars, and the very first late model Hemi dragster.
Because the way we're going, this is going to be a half-hour show talking to Mike. Not that that's bad, but there...
5-hour show.
Absolutely. There's just so much to see. If you're into your Mopars, and even if you're not, this is Chryslers on the Murray. It's the largest outdoor Chrysler event here in Australia. And as I said earlier, privileged to have a talk to you, Mike. Thanks for flying all the way from the USA, and I will be catching up with you again at Chryslers at Carlisle this year.
We should be there. There's no reason we won't.
How's this for cool? We've got young Will here. Now, Will is the grandson of Mike. How are you, Will?
Fine, thank you.
That's good. Now, tell us where you're flying from. What part of the United States?
I'm flying from Dunway, Georgia, or Atlanta, and I'm going to Australia.
Well,
I am right now.
You are here right now. How old are you, Will?
11,
And what grade are you in at school?
5th.
And how does it feel to be taken out of school for an Australian trip?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Relief.
Yeah. Relief. You know, it's about presentation, and don't these guys do it well? The Ram Chargers always had these really nice white shirts with their names embroidered there. It's exactly what Will's done here too. How cool is it to have a grandfather that was a drag racer?
Very. Although my grandmother doesn't like it, but very cool.
Classic Restos!
Okay, with me now, Rod Taylor, show coordinator, Chryslers on the Murray, 2013, largest outdoor Chrysler event in Australia. How you feeling, mate?
Oh, I'm pretty tired, to be honest, but very happy. This time last year we were standing ankle deep in mud, so this year the weather's just perfect, so very happy.
Very proud of yourself. You do an outstanding job every year. I mean, this Chrysler on the Murray thing has really got some years under its belt now.
Yeah, this year we celebrate 21 years, but I got to say, I might just be the person up the front. We've got a really hard-working committee and club. It's a real small club, but they all put in, they all contribute.
Mate, you do huge days, a lot of hours. I mean, as I've alluded to many times before, the largest Chrysler event in Australia, outdoor event, which is a fantastic accolade. It started a long time ago. It's now a worldly event. I travel a lot in New Zealand, America, and I might have said this before too, that this event could sit anywhere in those countries as a worldly event. It's tremendous, mate.
Yeah, we never knew when we started out. We just had 60 cars the first year, and it just kept growing every year from then on. And the whole Chrysler movement's just exploding at the moment, so there's no end in sight. You get the US cars and the Australian cars, so you get a great mix, and it's a lot of variety, and I just recommend anyone that's sick of going to the same shows, maybe overseas somewhere and want to see something different, you can come down under and we'll show you something different.
Good on you, Rod. Now, website, mate, to find out more information for 2014, what's that?
Just www.chryslersonthemurray.com.
Who have we got? What's your name?
Natalie?
Hello, Natalie. It's Fletch. How are you?
Good.
That's good. Now, you were here last year, weren't you?
Yes.
And your car that's here today wasn't here last year. You were telling me it was broken, wasn't it?
Yes.
And what did your dad do?
He repainted it. We got the engine and we got it pearl white now.
Pearl white.
And the engine's a slant 6.
It's a slant 6, a 225 slant 6, right?
It's the seats and the colour a little bit inside.
Well, your dad's been very busy, hasn't he? Now, who does this car belong to?
Me?
So one day you're going to get this car and you'll be able to drive it, right?
Yes.
And How special will that make you feel?
Very.
How old are you?
6.
Isn't this amazing? 6 years of age. Talk about the up-and-coming generation. Her dad, Steph, top bloke, has done the car and restored it for Natalie, and it'll be hers one day. That's really, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Thanks very much for being on the show, Natalie.
That's okay, Fletch.
And, isn't that gorgeous? How often do you watch the show?
A lot.
Do you? You're not sick and tired of Fletch yet?
No.
Shannons Insurance can help you. Pick up the phone and give them a call, 134646, or visit Shannons online at shannons.com.au. There's Main Lube Lubricants at mainlube.com.au, and your local Repco store scattered across Australia and throughout New Zealand. You are watching Chryslers on the Murray for 2013.
Another classic Resto. And show me what I wish was really mine.
Okay, look up outstanding in the dictionary. You find a picture of this bloke with his 2 cars. How are you, Mick?
Very well, thanks, Fletch. How are you?
Mate, good. You've blown me away. This Super B, 1969 Super B, mate, superb car. Give us the rundown.
It's a genuine Super B. It's got a 440 6-pack. It's a genuine car. It's beautiful. It's amazing to drive, fully restored. It's the A12 version of it, if you know the viewers out there know what that is. Yeah, just a magnificent car. It's
Explain the A12.
halfway through the run of the Super Bs in 1969, they decided to make a performance model. The performance model came out instead of the 383, had a 440 6-pack and a few other mod cons, fiberglass bonnet, the wheels with the lighter wheels, etc., etc. And this is basically one of those cars.
Mick, concourse condition here sitting on the paddock. What was it like when you got it?
It was exactly like this. I've had this thing for 3 weeks, mate.
Oh, yeah.
I've only just got it. It's just got it off the boat. I had to go to Sydney. It's a whole other story. But yeah, this one here is fresh off the boat, mate. This is exactly how I bought it.
Man, how did you feel when you saw it for the first time on the docks?
Look, I've bought in a few cars for myself, and you just get butterflies every time when you see it because you're not quite sure. Because I didn't go over and pick it up over there. This is all online. This is the power of the power of the interweb. And yeah, no, I couldn't believe it. I got in it as soon as we did a donut. As soon as we got in it, see how much power it had, and we went away.
As you do. But every aspect of this vehicle is absolutely outstanding. I mean, the camera running down the side profile of the car, into the interior. Interior's gorgeous. Underneath the hood, concourse, everywhere you look. Original stampings, original hoses, the distributor, everything's correct. Stung by a bee.
A Super B.
A Super B. Very interesting car just over there. Let's go over and have a talk about that, eh, Mick?
Let's do it. All right.
Oh, look, this is amazing stuff. Man with a sickness. These 2 cars, like, I could be in Carlisle now, over in Pennsylvania. I mean, this is it. This is what it's like. It doesn't get any better than this.
No, the 65. I got a passion for cars, obviously, but the 65 is for stock car racing. This was the pinnacle. This is like a mock-up of an A990, because they're very expensive now to buy. So this is just a tribute to that particular car.
Mike, wonderful talking to you. All I can say is, mate, I wish I was your next-door neighbour, and I just hope that you invite me to your next barbecue.
Yeah, I hope to see you at the next Queanbeyan Car Show, mate, which is very, very soon. Hopefully they've invited you back. I'm sure they would because you were fantastic there the last time we were there. And yeah, and hopefully I'll have my 3 cars there next time and get them on camera. And I'm sure the viewers that are Mopar related, would appreciate that.
Thanks, Mike. It's good to talk to a guy. He's educated, knows about his cars. Great to talk to. Thanks for being on the show and helping to make Chryslers on the Murray for 2013 the mighty event that it truly is. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Fletch. Thanks for coming out again.
Right, moving through Chryslers on the Murray. Awesome event. Michael, how are you?
I'm going very well, thank you.
Mate, you'd have to have a go at this. Isn't this beautiful? An E31, genuine, Hemi 245, 3-speed gearbox, big tank out back. Mate.
Well, what can you say? You've said it all.
Yeah. All right, well, good to catch up, mate.
No worries, thanks. Right.
In the serious department, mate, tell us about the car.
3 years. Bought the car from a guy in Newcastle who'd had it for a few years himself. Since I've owned it, I've done a little bit to it and brought it back to, hopefully, its former glory.
It's just an amazing car. I mean, I've said this before. Yeah, I know you're thinking, Fletch, we've heard you say this before. You do get stuck for words. You get stuck for lines and different words. Amazing, attention to detail. Everywhere you look here, no stone unturned. Again, it's one of these cars that's just an amazing vehicle to have. Michael, original dress rims as well. I just can't get over the authenticity of this vehicle. Even the high back bucket seats. Gee whiz, I just don't think that there'd be a better one.
Oh, look, mate, there's always a better one, and I've seen some very nice cars here today, and I do know of a few very good ones, but I suppose for what I've got, it's what I've got, and I can do the best with it.
I guess there's one way to look at it. Even if there's none better, there might be a few that are the same or close, but it's a great example. Michael, thank you so much, mate.
No worries, thank you.
Hey, look at this gorgeous VF Ute. Welcome to the show, David.
Yeah, thanks, Fletch.
That's right, mate. Now, everything the Quigs do, they do it to perfection. And this is a glorious 318 example here, dropped into this VF. Mate, tell us, from the 6 to the 8, what's it like?
Oh, it's great. It's a lot more power, a lot more response. Secondaries open up pretty quickly, and it's only second run, so smaller carburetor on it at the moment, so we're looking at putting a larger carburetor on it when the engine gets run in.
Yep. Specs engine-wise, David, what's been done?
Just, it's a mild cam, it's 30 thou over, that's about it.
Good, mate. It sounds the goods as well. But what a glorious thing. I mean, this car wins trophies. It's a beautiful car. It's just so nice to see too that you've got the transition of the Charger next to us there with the 6. We've got the V8 in the Ute, all under the stable of being in the family, and you're just having lots of fun, aren't you?
Yeah, it's great. This is my 4th year down here, and I'll be coming to the rest of them. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be in my shed one day.
Well, you play your cards right, mate. I'd say you're heading in the right direction. All right, David, thanks for the time out to have a chat and showcase the Ute, mate. Well done.
No worries. Thanks, Fletch. Keep it up.
Brutal. Nothing much went past an RT Dodge Challenger. Lincoln, welcome to today's show.
Thanks, Fletch.
Mate, gorgeous car sitting here on the paddock.
Thanks very much. No, it's been a lot of polish and a lot of hard yards in a very hot garage.
Have a go at the hip lines on these Challengers. Aren't they a sensational car? Times you've watched Vanishing Point?
Well, since I was 8, yeah, a lot. And if it wasn't for that movie, I wouldn't be standing here, that's for sure.
Now, 383 Magnum, how does it go? Tell us engine specs. What have you done?
Yeah, look, I actually haven't done anything to the motor. It was imported into Queensland as is. It came out of a museum in Florida. So it's a stock standard numbers matching 383 Magnum. And I don't plan on touching it. As long as it's running like it is, it can stay as it is.
Lincoln, how cool is it? I mean, we're talking sex on wheels here. I mean, we've got gorgeous paint, the brown. What's the colour?
It's dark burnt orange.
Dark burnt orange. Black interior, high back buckets, incredible condition. I mean, what a score just to land this car. You must just feel so chuffed that you've got it.
Yeah, look, absolutely. It was probably a 5 or 8 year process in starting to look for one, trying to save up to buy one. Then when I finally found it, I knew it was the one, and jump on a plane, go and have a look. It was a no-brainer, really, but once I twisted the wife's arm, certainly was a no-brainer.
Beautiful car. What do you say about a car like this? Future plans, anything in mind?
Yeah, well, it got judged yesterday, and thankfully a couple of fellas came and gave me a few tips. So it might be a little bit more hours in the hot garage, I think. But look, I'm really happy with just keeping it looking as it is, and certainly the comments that I received today of it just being a good, nice, clean, genuine car. That's all I really want from it. So you probably won't see me on the dyno, but you'll see me parked out here. Good
to see a car for the first time at Chryslers on the Murray. And on that note, what are your thoughts on this year's event?
Yeah, look, it's really good. I came up last year, and obviously there's probably slightly more vehicles last year, but it's good quality this year, and there's a few challenges here. I mean, obviously I'm Challenger impartial, but there's a few challenges up here that are really special. There's the black convertible, and there's a couple of green ones going around that, yeah, wouldn't mind owning.
It's an interesting point you said too. It's not always about quantity of cars, but quality, and that's what you'll find at Chryslers on the Murray. It's a paramount event, world-class standard, and you're part of it, mate, so good on you, Lincoln.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time.
You are watching Chryslers on the Murray for 2013, and you're seeing it first on Classic Restos, thanks to Shannons Insurance, Main Lube, lubricants, and your local Repco store. When it comes to stock standard, 1970 4-door VG Val. How are you, Nathan?
Yeah, not bad. Fletch, yourself?
Good, mate, good. How original's this?
I try to keep it as original as I can, but yeah, with getting on a bit in years, it's a bit hard to keep it the way it was, but yeah. No.
This is a great score of a car. I mean, these are getting a bit hard in the water to find now.
Well, this one I bought when I was 18. It was the first car I actually bought from a one owner, so I've tried to keep it as nice as I could and look after it over the years. But being 18 to, well, now I'm 30, it's when you're younger you want to change things pretty radically, and now I've got to change it all back. So.
I know, it's kind of sacrilege to give a car like this to somebody that just doesn't have that appreciation for them. The old grandfather cars used to get knocked years ago, but hey, now they're wanted.
Well, that's it, yeah, and a lot of them now are changing the colours radically and doing a lot of things to them, so to find them in as original condition as this is a pretty hard thing to do.
Absolutely. I mean, they've had easy lives, you can tell. I mean, to last as long as they have. But full-face dress rims and dress rings, and you can just tell the originality has never left the vehicle. They haven't been molested. Someone hasn't come along and basically, well, you know, dicked around with them.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I've done things like I had wheels on it briefly. They lasted about 2 weeks, and yeah, went straight back to normal. So it just looks better that way, and a lot of people comment on how original it looks.
Nathan, original interior?
Original seats and everything in it. Yeah, I've done a few things, like I've got the retro sound stereo in there, which looks like the original one, original fascia and everything. The seat trim, they're original colours but weren't together, so just to give it a bit of something else, dress it up a little bit, but yeah, keep it pretty close to what it was.
Now, it's had a paint job. Tell us about that.
It's had a paint job. Yeah, I had it repainted in the original factory colour Citron Gold. The base, one of the flakes in it wasn't quite right, so it had a bit of a flop in certain lights. So what we did was we put a bit of red pearl in the base coat and changed the silver flake in it to make it a bit heavier, just to bring it out a bit more. So
Mate, that's so nice. So nice that you've gone that way with the original colour. Under the hood, we've got 245 cubic acres lurking around under there.
It is, yeah. It's nothing wrong with it, but just wanted something with a bit more go. So. No, it's been a good motor. It's never really let me down ever. There's been a few bits, but they were always aftermarket that I cheaped out on, I suppose, is the easiest way to say it.
The sales brochures, well, road tests more so. The more you loaded up a Chrysler, the nicer they handled. You know, I mean, they were unique with their torsion bar suspension. You know, they did some things a little bit differently, but all in all, great package. Mate, thanks for being on the show. Love your car.
No, thanks for talking to me.
Murray 2013 doesn't get much better than that here in Australia. Now, classicrestos.com.au, that's the website that you need for the DVD boxed sets, Classic Restos merchandise, finding out information about travelling the Mother Road Route 66, and of course how my major sponsors can help you as well. As I say at the end of every show, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching.
Don't forget to like Classic Restos on Facebook. Facebook.com/Classic Restos TV. And episodes can be seen at Shannons.com.au. Well, there goes another Classic Restos. Thanks for riding along with me. For DVD sets and to contact the major sponsors, go to classicrestos.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Main Lube Lubricants, and your local Repco store.